So in a previous video, I walked you guys through the 5 realities of living in Virginia Beach that nobody warns you about before you move here. The jet noise, the flooding, the tourist traffic, the commute surprises, and the hidden costs that add hundreds of dollars a month to your budget that you never even saw coming. And I told y'all all of that not to scare you, but because I would rather you walk into this city with your eyes wide open rather than have you fall in love with the house and regret it 6 months down the line, okay? So now that you know what to watch out for, let's talk about where to actually live, because Virginia Beach is not one neighborhood. It is a whole city with very different pockets, very different price points, and very different vibes depending on what matters most to you and your family. Hey friends, I'm Sonali Hutson with Hutson Realty Group, and I've helped hundreds of families relocate to Virginia Beach and Hampton Roads over the last decade. I specialize in helping people move with clarity, protect their finances, and choose a home that actually fits their life, not just their budget. And today, I'm walking you through the best neighborhoods in Virginia Beach for 2026. But I want to be upfront with you about something before we get all the way into it, okay? Y'all, this is not a ranking video. I'm not going to tell you that neighborhood number 1 is the best neighborhood and neighborhood 5 is the worst neighborhood, because honestly, guys, that's not how this works. There's no such thing as the best neighborhood for everyone. See, there's only the best neighborhood for you based on what you actually care about. So by the end of this video, you're going to know which neighborhoods match your priorities, what homes actually cost in real numbers right now, what the flood risks look like, what the school zones are, and which neighborhoods you need to avoid if certain things matter to you. And then I'm going to close this video out with the 5 biggest buyer mistakes that I see people make in this market over and over and over again, because knowing the neighborhood is only half the battle, y'all, okay? So let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, the neighborhood that everybody asks me about first is Great Neck. And honestly, there's a reason for that. Great Neck is the gold standard for families in Virginia Beach who are prioritizing top-rated schools and a well-established suburban feel. If you want Cox High School, it's rated 8 or 9 out of 10. This is where you need to be looking. Parents move here specifically for that school zone, and the neighborhood reflects it. You're gonna have mature tree-lined streets, 2-story colonials, big yards, neighborhood pools, and a really strong sense of community in most of the subdivisions in Great Neck. Now, here's the honest trade-off, because there is always a trade-off, right? Now, Great Neck can be a little bit expensive. A starter home, and by starter home, I mean like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, that's gonna probably need some updating. Those are gonna be starting around $450,000 right now. If you wanna move up home with 4 bedrooms, an updated kitchen, a 2-car garage, you are easily looking at $600,000 to $700,000. And even though you are inland and not on the water, some pockets of Great Neck are still gonna sit in some flood zones. So you are gonna need to pull that FEMA map before you fall in love with Great Neck or with a specific address in the Great Neck area. And y'all, I gotta keep talking about the jet noise, okay? Parts of Great Neck are gonna be under the Oceana flight path. It's not gonna be constant all day, but there is gonna be some jet noise. So if jet noise is a deal breaker for your family, that matters even though the schools are exceptional. Now, Great Neck is going to be the right fit if top-rated schools and established suburban communities are your number 1 priority, and you have the budget to match it. Now, if both of those things are true, you're gonna love it in Great Neck. I promise you that. Okay, next let's talk about Kempsville, because Kempsville does not get nearly enough credit, and I think it's one of the smartest choices in the Virginia Beach market right now. Kempsville is central to everything. You can get to Oceana in 10 minutes, you can get to Town Center in 10 minutes, you can get to Norfolk or Chesapeake in 20 minutes. If you need easy access to multiple parts of Hampton Roads without living in any one specific direction, Kempsville is really hard to beat. And the homes are significantly more affordable. Starter homes in the $280,000 to $350,000 range, move-up homes with 4 bedrooms and a garage in the $400,000 to $500 range. You can't really beat the pricing and the community in Kempsville. Here's something a lot of people don't think about until I bring it up. Because of the large military population in Kempsville, the rental market in Kempsville is actually really strong. So if you're an investor or if you're buying a home knowing you may get orders and need to rent it out in a few years, Kempsville is worth taking a serious look. Now, I gotta tell you the truth, okay? There is a downside. The schools in the Kempsville area are mixed. Kempsville High School rates lower than Cox or Kellum, so if school ratings are your top priority, this may not be the right fit. And the traffic on Indian River Road and Kempsville Road during rush hour, it can be a little bit rough. Now, that's just the reality, but you gotta figure out what the trade-off is that you actually want. But here's what I love about Kempsville. Kempsville that people sometimes overlook. It doesn't flood as badly as a lot of other Virginia Beach neighborhoods. And when you're thinking about your long-term costs and your peace of mind, that's a bigger deal than most buyers realize until it's too late. Now, friends, we're gonna talk about Princess Anne next because this is where you go when you want space, newer construction, and room to actually breathe. Princess Anne feels different from the rest of Virginia Beach. You're going to see farmland, golf courses, and neighborhoods with half-acre lots where your neighbors are not 15 feet away from your bedroom window. Can the church say amen? It is less dense, less congested, and honestly, it has a different energy than the more northern parts of the city. The value in Princess Anne is real. A new construction home with 4 bedrooms, a 2-car garage, and a good-sized yard can run you $450,000 to $550,000. Now, if you compare that to Great Neck or the North End, you are getting significantly more house for your money. But listen, here's the thing about Princess Anne. You are farther from everything. If you work in Oceana or in Norfolk, you're looking at 25 to 30 minutes each way on a normal day. A beach trip, that's still going to be a little bit of a drive. Dinner at Town Center, that's also a little bit of a drive. And some of the more remote areas near Pungo are on well and septic, no city water, no sidewalks, no street lights. That's completely fine for the right buyer, but you need to know that up front, not after you close, okay? Now, Princess Anne is perfect if you want space, if you don't mind driving, and if you prefer a quieter setting where you actually feel like you have a yard and not just a patch of grass, okay? Now, friends, let's go ahead and talk about Ocean Lakes, because if you are active duty military, this neighborhood has probably already come up in some conversations with people that you know here. Now, in my opinion, Ocean Lakes is the most military concentrated neighborhood in Virginia Beach, and there are very real reasons why military families keep recommending it to each other. It is affordable. It is incredibly convenient to both Dam Neck and Oceana. We're talking 5 minutes to Dam Neck, 10 minutes to Oceana. And the HOA keeps the neighborhood well maintained, even with all the turnover that comes with military life. Now, starter homes here are running to $380,000 right now. Move-up homes with 4 bedrooms are in the $400,000 to $500,000 range. And because the HOA is managing the common areas, the pool, and the landscaping, the neighborhood tends to stay pretty sharp. Now, here's the honest reality though, and I tell every military client this. Ocean Lakes is a transient neighborhood. Most of the people living there are military, which means there's a lot of turnover every 3 or so years. You're gonna have renters next door. You're gonna have more neighbors who move out and new neighbors moving in on a regular rotation. So if you're looking for like a tight-knit community that people have been living there for years and years, where you know the same neighbors for 10, 15 years, that's probably not what Ocean Lakes is going to feel like for you, okay? That's probably not what Ocean Lakes is gonna feel like for you. And the jet noise in Ocean Lakes is constant. Y'all, you're gonna be right next to Oceana. So if noise doesn't bother you, great. But if you're even slightly noise sensitive, cross it off the list right now, because those jets are non-stopping in that area. Now, Ocean Lakes is gonna be the right call for active duty families who want convenience, affordability, and a well-kept neighborhood, and who already know what military life looks and sounds like. Okay, friends, let's talk about Hilltop next, because this one is in a completely different category from everything else that I've already talked about today. Hilltop is not just a residential neighborhood. It's a commercial hub with residential pockets built into it. If your dream is being able to walk to a coffee shop, walk to a restaurant, grab groceries without getting in your car, and be a 10-minute walk from the beach, Hilltop is really your best option outside of the North End. Now, the homes in Hilltop are a little bit older. We're talking 60s, 70s, and 80s era bungalows and ranches, but they're being renovated constantly. You can find a fixer-upper in the $350,000 to $400,000 range, or a fully renovated home in the $500,000 to $600,000 range, depending on what you're actually looking for. Now, when it comes to Hilltop, the trade-off is going to be traffic and noise. Laskin Road during the summer can be brutal. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. And because Hilltop is so commercial, it does not have that quiet, peaceful suburban feel that you're going to get in Great Neck or Princess Anne. It's lively and convenient, and for the right buyer, that's exactly what they want. So, hey, more power to you, okay? Hilltop is going to be for buyers who prioritize walkability and being close to the action over space, over quiet, and who are comfortable in an older home that might need a little bit of TLC. You know what I mean? Okay, and then, friends, there is the North End and Shadow Lawn, which is the Virginia Beach that most people picture in their mind when they dream about moving to Virginia Beach. You're gonna see bungalows, cottages. You can bike to the beach streets. You're gonna be steps from the ocean. You can walk to the boardwalk. You are literally living the coastal lifestyle that Virginia Beach is built around. Now, the homes in North End are gonna range wildly. An older cottage that might need work might start out at $500,000, but a new construction construction home with ocean views can easily be well over $1 million. And many of these homes are in high-risk flood zones. So flood insurance is mandatory and it's not cheap. We're talking $3,000 to $5,000 a year on top of your mortgage payment, and that's gonna add up fast. But the truth is, most people who live in this area, they can afford that. But here's what the North End offers that nothing else on this list can give you, friends. You walk out your front door and you are on the sand in less than 5 minutes. Now, that is not something that you can replicate mostly anywhere else in Virginia Beach, okay? Now, let's talk about the downsides because I gotta keep it real. It's the tourist traffic in the summer, year-round parking challenges, and higher costs across the board between insurance, HOA fees, property taxes, all of it. You're gonna pay a premium to live in this area, and you're gonna need to know that going into it. The North End is for buyers who have made beach access their #1 priority and who have the budget to back that lifestyle up. And now that you know the neighborhoods, let me walk you through the 5 biggest mistakes I see buyers make in this market, because knowing where to look for your next home is only going to be half of the battle. Mistake #1 is not testing your commute at the right time. Y'all, I cannot tell you how many times I've seen this happen. A buyer drives the route on a Sunday afternoon, it takes 20 minutes, they think they are golden, and then they move in and they try it on a Wednesday morning and they are stressed out at 7 a.m. because it's taking 45 minutes because of a tunnel backup or a bridge lift. And now that is their life every single day. So guys, test your commute during the exact hours that you're actually going to be on the road. Not on a weekend, not on a holiday, the real day, the real time. It will save you time and stress. Mistake #2 is ignoring flood risk because the house is not on the water. Friends, I said this and I will say it again. Being 5 miles inland does not mean you will not flood. Check the FEMA flood map, okay? Get a flood insurance quote for your specific address before you make an offer. Finding out after the fact that you owe $400 a month in insurance that you did not budget for can completely blow up your finance, okay? Now, mistake #3 is falling in love with a house on a quiet weekend without checking out the jet noise on a regular weekday. You're gonna tour it on a Saturday morning, it's peaceful, the backyard is gorgeous, you make an offer, and then you move in and realize you are directly under a flight path and the jets are flying over every 20 minutes on a Tuesday, okay? Go back to that neighborhood on a weekday when the base is fully operational. Spend real time there before you commit. Now, mistake #4 is not reading the HOA documents before closing. I've seen buyers purchase a home thinking they can park their boat in the driveway or put up a certain color shed, and then they get a violation letter within their first month of moving in. So when you get those 3 days to read your full HOA disclosure package, make sure you read those and the bylaws before you sign on the dotted line. Because once you close, those rules are yours, whether you agree to them, whether you knew about them or not. And mistake #5, and this is the one that surprises a lot of people, is expecting a beach town feel everywhere in Virginia Beach. Y'all, Virginia Beach is huge. Some neighborhoods are gonna feel suburban. Some are gonna feel rural. Some honestly feel like a strip mall with houses scattered in between. If you want that true coastal, walkable beach town energy, you're gonna have to live in a neighborhood that's actually on the coast, and those neighborhoods are gonna cost significantly more. Do not assume because the city has the word beach in every name that every neighborhood is going to feel like a beach town. Look guys, buying a home is one of the biggest financial decisions that you're ever gonna make, and Virginia Beach has some truly incredible neighborhoods to choose from. But you have to know which one actually fits your life, your commute, your budget, your family, and your priorities. And if you've not grabbed my Virginia Beach location guide, the link is right below in the description. Get it before you start touring homes because it's going to save you so much time, effort, and energy. Now, if you're thinking about making a move to Virginia Beach or anywhere in the Hampton Roads or the greater Richmond area, and you want someone to help you think through which neighborhood actually makes sense for your specific situation, all you have to do is get in touch. You can text me at 757-837-0096. I'm not here to sell you a house. I'm here to help you make a wise decision that protects your finances and gives you peace. That is what stewardship looks like, and that's what I show up for every single day. See, moving to a new city can be difficult, so you don't have to figure this all out on your own. Let me help you get it right the first time. Friends, thank you so much for watching my channel. I appreciate you more than you know. Your support absolutely means the world to me. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video.